let's go directly to the title fight.
Yes.
Basti's sister, Sebastian's sister, Gabriela
Hey.
Fundora.
Hey.
When are we going to? I mean, we don't pay attention to a lot of these divisions, but isn't she like the GOAT right now in that in that division?
I mean, I guess after last night, I guess
youngest ever undisputed champion, and she's been doing it. She's been doing the damn thing for a long time. Salute to Gabriela Fundora.
Fighting out of Palm Beach, Florida. Yeah, the ripe age of 22.
22.
5'9".
Tall.
69-inch reach.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Youngest ever undisputed champion. Flyweight. Youngest ever undisputed flyweight champion. Then we have to put some respect on her name. She beat Gabriela Celeste Alanes. Am I saying that right?
Real quick.
Celeste Alanes.
Gabriela Celeste Alanes.
Okay.
She's 5'9", fighting at the flyweight division. She's got to be towering over every competitor she's in there with, just like her brother.
You see, exactly. You see what I'm getting at, and both of them have the frame to move up.
I would like to see that at some point. But being the youngest undisputed champion, I mean, you got to tip your cap to her. They got something in those Fundora waters. Do we know anything about their family, their parents?
They're farmers. I saw that pre-fight.
Pre-fight,
they're natural. They have a farm, and she was like feeding goats and stuff like that, and chicken over there in Southern Cal, I believe. Maybe
that's a great life for a fighter.
It says they're out of Palm Beach, Florida.
Florida, sorry. This is Florida, not California. Oh, sorry. Maybe I'm wrong.
Think about Palm Springs.
Some reason I started with California people. But yeah, we've been talking about Basti or Sebastian. What's his potential? What's his potential like as a fighter? I mean, he didn't have the best going out the last time he fought, but prior to that, what's his potential like?
I mean, that Tim Tszyu victory doesn't look as good at this point. Seeing Tim Tszyu's last performance, the clash, elbow to forehead came because of the height difference.
Height difference, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I really would just love for him to just fight in a division where it's more of a comparable height, because that is a risk of every fight he has at 154. He's gonna be taller than everybody that he fights, but as you go up weight classes, guys get a little bit taller, so the risk of elbows kind of goes down. But when you got guys dipping under your shots because they're 4, 5, 6 inches shorter than you, it's just a risk, and it kind of soured that victory for me the whole fight. I feel like we're in for a really good fight. Loves to mix it on the inside. So as far as potential, it's just really if he decides to use his attributes to lengthen his career, because getting in wars at his young age doesn't bode well for him. So
he's fighting at 154. Mm-hmm. And then just go a couple fights back, and everybody's chiming in. Even the big dogs are chiming in and like, this ain't fair. You're fighting against a created player, So I mean,
you gotta go to that body. He want to be on the inside too, which is crazy.
And it's crazy.
He doesn't look like I'm not mad at. Look, I'm not mad at 154 because there's some big guys that come down. And there's some legit competition there. And so if you want to come down to the 154 and potentially face somebody like Terrence Crawford, who's an all-time great, okay, then let's see where you actually stack up. If you want to, if Spence comes back, who's in the rankings now, if Spence comes back, let's not have recency bias. We haven't seen Spence in a couple years, but he did solve a lot of problems that were like great boxers. Like Spence, he looked one-dimensional against Terrence Crawford, but he beat a lot of great boxers. up until this first defeat. So hey, 154 is no slouch. Fundora versus Charlo. There's a lot of great names there for the fight. For us to really decide. Okay, I mean, okay, stick around long enough for Boost. Let's see.
Hey, tall.
Boost is like 6 foot, right? Or like 5'11".
Yeah, long reach.
Yeah, he's
5'11".
So,
hey, yeah, he went out there. Fundora family is doing their thing. 2 champions in the family, man. How are the parents feeling right now?
Wow.
Full belt. Gabriela being the first youngest full belt holding undisputed person in that division, the featherweight division, and that's salute to her. That's